Hello everyone and welcome to the Image Cafe where you learn different photo editing techniques using just your smartphone. Guys, today's video is going to be very interesting. We're going to try and convert this simple image of a temple into a more dark and contrasty image by using just two free apps called Snapseed and Lightroom. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll open the image in Snapseed app. Now in the Tune Image menu, a little decrease in the highlights for details in the brighter parts of the image and increasing the shadows a little bit for details in the darker parts of the image. Also a subtle increase in the contrast for a more interesting image. After this, going to the crop option, I am cropping this image in a way that the attention of the viewer goes to the structure and not the other distracting elements in the image like the birds on the ground or the statue on the right part of the image. So we'll crop this image in a way that more of the distracting elements gets eliminated and the attention of the viewer will go straight to the structure in the image. After cropping, going into the perspective menu to adjust the point of view, adjusting vertically to get the perspective from a little lower angle. This will make the structure more prominent and important. As you can see, there are a lot of birds in the image and few can be seen flying in front of the structure. This can be a distracting element in the image. Therefore, the bird and other distractions are to be removed using the healing option. Also removing the pole on the extreme left of the image. The colors in the image feel a little warm. By using the white balance menu, select the auto white balance and adjusting it further with the temperature and tint sliders. This seems to be pretty good. And now time for the interesting stuff to give more pop to the structure and make the image a little more contrasty and dark. First of all, applying selective filter to the structure, selecting all the structure for the filter, adding some brightness and contrast. By adding contrast, the saturation of the structure has increased, so reducing the saturation will balance it. Increasing the structure to make the edges a little more prominent. Now going into the stacks menu on the top right, view edits, then selective filter and clicking on brush icon. With the effect applied and brush value at 0, painting the portion of the image where the effect is not to be applied. Brushing with value at 0 removes the effect from that portion. Now selecting the vintage option in the menu, applying the preset 12 to the image. This filter adds vignette to the image and makes the center part of the image a little more prominent and make it pop. Now increasing the saturation and vignette strength a little for a darker look. Now with masking, removing the effect from few portion of the image for making it more interesting. Going into the stacks menu, view edits, vintage filter and clicking on brush icon. With the effect enabled and with different brush values, adjusting the strength of the effect in different parts of the image. Various strength of the effect can be achieved by altering the brush values. Now adding selective filter to the sky, reducing the brightness and increasing the contrast. Copy the filter to the right part of the sky. Now it's time for some dodge and burn with the brush tool. With the value at -5, I'm gonna paint on the right side of the 4 compartments of the structure, making them a little dark. Also brushing at the lower portion of the structure. Now with brush value at +5, brushing on the left part of the compartments to give a dynamic look to the structure. Now to the contrast menu, applying the soft contrast preset for overall contrast in the image. Now you can see there is a drastic difference between the original image and with all the editing that we have done so far. Now the editing part with the Snapseed app has been done. Now we will export this image to the Lightroom app for some color grading. In the Lightroom app, going into the color menu, then mix for some color tuning. To give a teal look to the sky, sliding the blue hues towards aqua, decreasing the saturation and luminance for a dark sky. Moving the yellow hues towards the orange to give the structure an orange tint. Also moving the orange hues a little towards red. Now there is a red flag on the top part of the structure. To make the flag pop, increasing the saturation and luminance of red hues. Now going into the detail menu, adding a little sharpening to the image. With 2 finger slide on the masking slider, we can control the areas of the image where sharpening is to be applied. The white portion of the image is the part where sharpening will be applied. We only need to sharpen the edges of the structure, So sliding the masking slider towards right till only the edges are white. Now adjusting the sharpening slider to add sharpness to the edges. Also adding noise reduction and color noise reduction to reduce the noise in the image. Going to the effects menu and adding a little bit of texture to the image. Now in the lights menu, reducing the exposure a little bit, increasing whites with 2 fingers right. The point where red dots appear, these areas start to lose detail. So stopping right before the red dots appear in the image. Also reducing blacks in the same way without losing details. So guys, here is the final look that we created. Thanks for watching.